What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about some rude things that Americans do in the UK. What? Us? Rude? Americans? Rude? Why, I no. Well, all right, fine. All right. Joking aside, I do know that us Americans are known for being really annoying tourists, inconsiderate tourists. I mean, when we travel to other countries, we don't do that very often, but when we do, we don't tend to really know what that culture is like. We just act like Americans act wherever we go. And so I know we have a reputation for being like loud and inconsiderate and not understanding the local customs when we go to other countries. So today I want to take a look at this video by Britishly Confusing and learn about 10 different things that us Americans should not do in the UK. So let's take a look.
Number 1. Not saying sorry.
Not saying sorry. So, okay, so let me get this straight. We should not say sorry. So we should say sorry? We need to say sorry in the UK? For what? What did we do? For existing? For why?
Think saying sorry is optional? Not in the UK.
Oh.
In the UK, saying sorry is almost automatic.
Oh.
Bump into someone? Sorry.
Oh.
They bump into you? You still say sorry.
What? What? Okay, yeah. Whoa. If someone bumps into me, I need to say sorry? What did I do? I got bumped into. They attacked me. And I have to say sorry? I know that, like in the UK, you guys are sort of known for being more polite and respectful. But this is like another level. I think a lot of Americans would have trouble with this one. Don't get me wrong. Here in the United States, if I bump into somebody, I would say something like, "Oh, I'm sorry," or I would say like, "Excuse me," or "My bad," or "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" Americans won't always choose to use the S word. There are a lot of Americans who are reluctant to even use the word sorry because it's like it carries a lot of weight in America. Like you're admitting you did something wrong, and Americans don't always like to do that. So we have all these other ways of saying it without saying sorry. We say like, "Oh, my bad," or excuse me. Like, even though that sounds like you're telling them they were in the way, or like, "Oh, it's not like, excuse me." It's like, "Oh, excuse me. Oh, my bad." Like, so we have other ways of saying it. We're reluctant to say sorry, but the idea that somebody bumps into me and I have to say sorry. Maybe they say sorry. I say, "Oh, I'm sorry." That sounds it sounds very nice and polite, and I don't think a lot of Americans would know to do that. That's a step further. Is that really expected in the UK, like that level of like politeness? Because that sounds like a lovely society where everyone's so polite. It's like if someone hits you over the head with a book, you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I got in the way of your book. Like, no. I get it. Like, it's not so serious in the UK. Saying sorry is just like saying, "Oh, excuse me. or just it's just a way of acknowledging, I guess. It just has a different weight in the UK compared to the United States, I think. So this is a good one. I think a lot of Americans probably come across as rude because we don't say sorry as much. But it just has a much stronger meaning in the United States. So we use other words which might sound like we're trying to get around saying sorry, but which we are. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. It's in America, if you get bumped into and you say "excuse me" and you say "no problem," that's normal. That's a totally normal, friendly exchange. So, okay, I think I get it though. All right.
Number 2. Talking too loudly.
Oh. Yeah. I've heard this one. Americans, we do talk loudly. More Americans should be aware of this than I agree with this one. This isn't even rude in the UK. This is rude in the United States. Americans, we talk loudly. We don't. Uh, I personally, I try to consider everybody who's around me, and not. I try to not be annoying. I try to not be too loud. But there's a lot of Americans who just don't care how they affect other people, and that is somewhat normal in the United States, but I think a lot of Americans don't realize when we go to other countries, there's a whole different expectation of you can't be too loud, you can't be annoying everybody, you're affecting other people, and Americans are not great at acknowledging that because in America you can talk on your phone on a speaker, you can play music in public, you can be loud, and it's somewhat normalized. Where it probably shouldn't be so accepted. I actually really agree with this one.
Excited to talk? Keep it down if you're in the UK. Brits don't want to hear your weekend plans on the bus.
You don't what? You don't? You don't want to know what we're doing that day? You don't want to hear what we're getting for dinner? What?
Speak quietly, even if you're thrilled about brunch.
Yeah. That's like probably one of the most famous ones. I think even a lot of Americans are aware of the talking too loud. Sometimes. And at the same time we don't really think about it.
Number 3. Skipping the queue.
Skipping the queue. We call this cutting in line. And it's very rude. I hate people who cut in line. But again, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy as an American myself, because I think a lot of our American behaviors are really rude. It's not just the UK. A lot of Americans think this. Like there are I think what it is in the United States, you just get the extremes of people. You get Americans who are just the most friendly, polite, kind people. And you get Americans who are just the rudest, meanest, nastiest people. You get just the extremes of all kinds of people. So there's lots of polite Americans, but there's just also the other half that are very rude and will skip the queue. And what happens for me is I'm at the grocery store and there's people who will act like they don't understand what a queue is. They will act like they don't see you. It's not even that they're trying to be rude. It's not even that they're trying to cut in front of you. It's like they are so oblivious that they are just walking in front of you. I know it sounds strange.
In Britain, queues aren't just lines, they're sacred.
Oh my
Cut in
God.
line at Greg's, and you'll feel the whole queue silently judging you.
Well, another good thing about America is if somebody does cut in line, there is a very decent, because Americans are pretty confrontational. Someone else will probably call them out and be like, hey, hey, are you cutting? You know, like, we won't just silently judge. We'll like get into a fight over it, which can be kind of good to keep Americans in check.
You might survive, but not without shame.
Where and in the UK, it's just like everybody is embarrassed for you. It sounds like. Whereas in America, it's like I'm not even shocked when it happens. I'm just like, what a jerk, what an idiot. Whereas in the UK, you're probably like, what is wrong with them? Probably some American.
Number 4. Standing too close.
Oh, well, okay. What is the socially acceptable distance to stand to people in the UK?
Brits love personal space. Violate it and you'll feel the chill.
Here in America, we all want personal space, but again, there's Americans who just don't respect personal space or being too loud and it's not everybody. It's just like it's strange. It's like almost very random in America, I've noticed. It's just so random. You'll get people who are totally normal and people who are just totally crazy, who will be loud and stand way too close to you. I think in America, you need to be like at least a meter apart. That is like the closest you should ever get to someone, but some people don't even do that.
If you stand too close, they'll back away politely, still smiling, but also slowly escaping.
What? I don't know if that's accurate. Like British people, if someone gets too close, will he just like silently back away? Because in America, it's oftentimes I think people are so annoyed that if someone gets in our personal space, we don't want to move. We want to like stand our ground and like be like, this is where I'm standing. But at the same time, it's very uncomfortable and it's just bad.
Number 5. Not saying please.
I don't know. I think in the United States, we say please. Again, we have other ways of talking that are polite and don't use the word please. Like if we're ordering a coffee, you could just say it very polite. You can just be like, "Oh, hi, can I get a coffee?" and say that like that. But it's not totally unusual for some Americans to order food and be like, "Okay, I'll take one hamburger." And that's it. That's not necessarily rude. There's a lot of variety in the United States. Some people will say, "I'll have a coffee, please. I'll take one coffee, thank you. Give me a coffee. I'll take a coffee. I'll have one." And it's all acceptable in the United States. It's really up to you how polite you want to be. And people who work in the service industry in the United States are used to dealing with all sorts of people. So I think people have very thick skin in America because you just get such a huge variety of of answers and politeness. Whereas in the UK, you're expected to say sorry. You're expected to use please. And on one half, I actually really like that about the UK.
Asking for something without please feels a bit bossy. Can I get a coffee needs a magic word or it sounds like a command.
I get that. I can totally see that where you're like, I think it's just in America we it's the way you say it. You can say, can I get a coffee? And be very friendly. And it's okay if you don't say please.
Excuse me. Oh. Please. Crisis averted. Number 6. Asking personal stuff.
And again, I'm not trying to say the American way is better. I'm just trying to explain why we are the way we are, maybe. And honestly, I've already said I kind of like the British attitude for a lot of this stuff. Like, I like that British society leans towards being overly polite. That's really nice. At least for us, overly polite. For you guys, it's just normal. It's not even overly polite. Asking personal stuff. Ooh, interesting.
Asking about money or jobs? That's too personal, too
In a lot of Americans do not ask about money. That's kind of taboo in the United States, asking about money. But asking about your job, asking about politics, that's actually pretty normal in America. We are a bit intrusive.
soon. In the UK, those questions are saved for I never.
Oh,
Ask about the weather instead.
the
It's the
weather.
national safe zone.
The weather.
Number 7. Mispronouncing UK names.
Ooh, oh God. I would expect a lot of Americans to make this mistake. Is this rude? A lot of the stuff so far, I understand why it's rude. And it's behaviors that Americans should be more aware of, but mispronouncing names, if you don't live in the UK, isn't that just kind of normal to it's not even like we're trying to be rude unless you consider it rude to be ignorant of the pronunciation of names, but that's asking a lot in my opinion.
British town names don't follow logic. They follow tradition.
Okay.
It's not Leicester. It's Leicester,
Oh.
not Edinburgh. It's Edinburgh.
I thought it was Edinburgh.
Say it wrong, and yes, we will notice.
Oh my. How rude is that considered? I thought isn't that just like, oh, they're a tourist. They're not from here? Is that really rude to mispronounce? Now, if somebody tells you how to pronounce it and you don't adjust your pronunciation, that's rude.
Number 8. Missing British understatement.
What? Missing British understatement? What does that mean?
In Britain, people never say exactly what they mean.
Oh.
Not bad might mean amazing. Bit of a pain could be a disaster.
What? Oh my gosh. This is asking a lot. This is like you have to read between the lines. British people like to understate things, whereas Americans like to say exactly what we're thinking. And that can come across I can see where that can come across as too straightforward, too rude. You shouldn't always say exactly what's on your mind. But there is something to be said for avoiding confusion. You always know what Americans are kind of thinking. We're honest, or maybe too honest. But I think there's a healthy middle ground where we could be more considerate and less direct. And British people could probably be a little more. This sounds like almost it could be a little confusing if you're saying something's pretty good, but you mean that it's amazing, or if you're saying things are okay, but they're actually terrible. It's a bit confusing. It can lead to misunderstandings.
Good luck figuring it out. We won't explain. Number 9. Tipping too much.
Tipping too much. Do you guys tip in the UK? I thought you guys don't even tip.
Being generous is great. But in the UK, over-tipping feels awkward. 10% is polite. 50% makes everyone uncomfortable.
Okay, we do not tip 50%. I don't know the exact tipping culture in the UK. Can you tip like 10%? Or can you tip nothing? Or I actually forget, because there's a lot. All the different European countries have different tipping rules, I think. Or I thought most European countries don't tip. Anyway, here in America, you never tip 50%. That's crazy. Now, 30%. That I know it sounds stupid, but if you had the meal of your life and the service was incredible, you could tip like 25%. That'd be really good. 30%. That'd be very good. But in America, you are expected to tip at least 15 or 20%. That's true. Yeah. Whereas in the UK, I mean, don't people do you dislike it because Americans are making you look bad, or shouldn't wouldn't service people in the UK love it when Americans tip a bunch? Wouldn't this be a good thing? Or does it just make it kind of awkward? Like, I understand if you overdo something and it's not normal, it can just be like kind of awkward.
Comfortable. It's lunch, not a Broadway encore.
Okay.
Number 10. Joking too loudly.
Joking too loudly? Is this like talking too loudly? We already went over talking too loudly. We can't even joke loudly.
British humour is subtle, quiet, dry, very dry.
Right.
Loud punchlines? Not really our thing.
Okay, this one. I don't think this is even really a huge deal. The humor, yeah, British people, you guys have like an amazing sense of humor. It's witty and dark or sarcastic, and Americans don't always understand it. But having a difference in humor, I don't think that's rude. Or I don't know. This was an interesting list. I think a lot of these this actually clarified a lot of stuff for me. Like I can see after going through this list how Americans how we do come across as rude, and there are a few things I think we should adjust. Even here in culture here in America, we could adjust a bit. But yeah, I think the important thing is when you're a tourist, you're traveling to another country, you need to learn the expectations and social customs of being in somewhere like the UK. It's your responsibility as a visitor to do the research and understand. So yeah, even by watching videos like this. So this was actually a lot of fun too. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on these 10 rude things that Americans do in the UK, and if you thought this was accurate, or that'd be cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK and learning things about UK culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.